Scorpio, hello and welcome to your Spring 2024 Shapeshift reading. We're looking at the shape you're shifting out of, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shapeshift looks and feels like for the spring season. I'm Andy, I'm your reader, and I'm joined today by the Green Glyphs Tarot box set. It's a new deck by 4 decks by James R. Eads. The first deck is a rune deck, comes with rune dice as well. And then there's the Lenormand Tarot, regular tarot, and an oracle deck. And we are going to use the entire box set in your spring shapeshift spread. Let's start by rolling the rune dice and see what your spring is looking like. Cool. Everybody's been getting Gebu, which is the gift rune. I love to see it. Okay. Great. I'm going to find the corresponding cards and then we're going to look at this together. Okay, so we're starting with Gebu, which is the rune that indicates some sort of gift. So it's like an exchange of giving and receiving, either of a gift or some kind of energetic exchange. It can also just talk about your actual gifts and talents. Or maybe like some sort of bond, some sort of contract or union that you have with someone. It was like, this was the agreement, or this is the agreement. Okay, so that's interesting, starting off with this gift. I think Virgo, it was like this gift energy has been through Leo. It's been, I don't think it was Virgo, but it was in the vibe of the last few readings, and it was the first card in the Libra reading right before you. So that might be something to look at. Your next card is Othala, which definitely came out in the Virgo reading. And it talks about origins, like where you've come from. You can see the roots are such a prominent part of this card. It talks about heritage, ancestral wealth, and like a haven, a place where we come to take comfort. It's like your lineage, or like the things you enter this life with that you've inherited that then you also pass on. So we've got like generations, multi-generations showing up here. And it's pretty interesting that it then follows Iwaz, which is this snake eating its own tail, a really classic Scorpio symbol. Love to see it in your reading. This is the cycle of life and death. This is like transformation. This is change. This is essentially the death card in the tarot. So it's bringing endings and new beginnings all at the same time. Interesting that we've got Othala hanging out right in the center of Iwaz, because there's something here about like generational shifts, closing a chapter and something new beginning. And it absolutely has to do, this cycle of life and death has to do with legacy and generations and regeneration. And then the final rune here is not part of the Elder Fifth Arc. It's an Anglo-Saxon rune called Stan. And it literally translates to stone, as you can see here. And the energy of a stone is something unavoidable. It's this like massive, either maybe like a blockage or something sort of stopping you or stopping the energy. But a strong stone can also be a really firm foundation. Can also, represent the earth itself. So this is where we're starting this reading, and it's following a similar trajectory to the Libra reading, where it like starts off with this gift, or there's this like exchange. We're talking about exchanges of energy, or maybe you are like receiving something here, and it has like generational reverb with the rest of the cards in this reading. And there's some sort of like major changeover that is indicated here in these cards with the Iwaz, with the cycles of life and death happening all at once. And maybe you're seeing that in your family, maybe like a matriarch passes, or like something significant like that, where it's like, okay, that generation is no more. Because with the Shdan card or rune coming out here, that big stone, it is sort of like a final thing. Like there is no more passage through this way. The way is closed. But there, you know, there's a gift that's given through this process of, yes, death, but also new beginning. So it's all sort of happening at the same time. And there's this like, I just feel there's a changeover, and I don't know what that changeover is for you this spring. But it has something to do maybe with your family or with your inheritance or with your future legacy. Okay, Scorpio, let's look at the Lenormand and see if we can get a clearer picture of how this is actually showing up in your experience this spring. Something about a man. We have the Gentleman on the bottom of the deck. Maybe like a male family member, or there's like a masculinity, someone with strong masculinity in your life that's representing. That has something to do with this changeover. Maybe they're leaving, you know. Oh, and then we get the Lady. Funny. A more feminine energy. Person representing a person specifically. Could be you also. Yeah. Stork on the bottom of the deck is indicating like major change. Again, like it's bringing, the stork brings change. It's a symbol for change. You know, like you've seen images maybe of storks delivering babies. It's sort of like this bird that brings the generational changeover, like that ushers in the new generation or delivers something, a gift, Gebu, to the new generation, but it's something that brings like irreversible change. Or maybe inevitable change, since we have this stone here. The thing that cannot be ignored, the thing that is inevitable. And inevitability in this reading is sort of interesting. And then the lily, I saw the lily flash when I was shuffling for you, and I thought that's such a Scorpio energy. The lily is a flower that typically represents like sex and death. Okay, one more. Sure. Okay. So you've gotten the Gentleman, the Lady, and now the Person. So I think like clearly we're getting a picture of like all kinds of people. Like the gender is less relevant. Maybe it'll be specifically relevant for some of you, but it feels less relevant here than like we're looking at the people in question. It feels like very circumstantial here. Like it could be family members. It could be like people in your immediate vicinity. Okay, so let's just kind of look at this. I'm going to start with the stork. We can look at it together. So, okay, the Lady under Gebu, it could be that like this represents you, or a more feminine energy in your life is either delivering or receiving part of this exchange of a gift. Something like that being passed on or being offered. Okay, so something like that is happening, or some sort of opportunity with underneath of Gebu. And then we have stork. It says change, becoming. Something is becoming. It indicates movement, transitions, maybe even like a visitor. It can talk about immigration. It can talk about cycles. And of course, transformation. So this next to, you know, underneath of Othala is like a generational change, a really strong change in your lineage, a strong change in your inheritance, a strong change in like your family in some way, or your root system in some way. And it has to do with Iwaz, whatever this like turnover is. The life cycle is showing up really strongly. So let's look at Lily for some further clarification. The keywords are peace. Okay, interesting. Morals, morality, fragility, sexuality, wisdom, old age, grandfather. Okay, that's very specific. And the time of winter. So I think it's interesting that we have like old age showing up underneath of the life cycles of life and death. Grandfather might be pretty specific for some of y'all. Peace, morality, sexuality. The lily has a lot of meanings, clearly. Let's just keep it there. And then, you know, the person, you can see number 28, the lady, and number 28, the person. It's the same thing. It's just like different ways of talking about the querent or someone in the querent's life. So it could be that like you or someone in your life is experiencing like a strong blockage or strong inevitability coming underneath the Stan card. A strong, I don't know why I keep feeling like inevitability or like it's something unavoidable. It's something at the very core of the issue, something really foundational. And so I'm wondering if like there's a foundational person in your family or in your lineage or in your life that is somehow either bringing or undergoing some sort of major transition. And that turnover for that person is like affecting you very directly. Maybe like that is a gift for you, that turnover, or maybe it's just like talking about a really huge transition for your very foundations, because we've got 3 cards talking about foundations. Othala with the roots, Iwas with like the larger cycles, but those roots are still really present with Othala on the inside of the snake, and then Stan, like the stone, as the foundation. So maybe it's like someone in your life that is, or like an energy through your lineage. It might not be a person, although the person energy is right there, so probably is. A person in your life or lineage that is a foundation stone is experiencing some sort of major change or major turnover, or like passing on something, some sort of wisdom or generational knowledge or generational morality that is maybe a gift to you, or is something that there's like an opportunity within that passage of an ideology or turnover of an ideology, turnover of an estate, turnover of a life. Like there's a lot of ways to interpret this, Scorpio. But like this is what you do, Scorpio. You dwell in the cycles of life and death, of like these very core, because also the stone card is the core issue. It's the heart of the thing, or I think in Scorpio's case, like the roots, the bottom of the thing. It's the thing underneath it all. That's what I'm trying to get at. And that's Scorpio. And so you seem to be pretty tuned in, maybe to the gift that is present, or maybe your particular skill set, Scorpio, is being able, like your gift, you know, your skill is to tune in to the turnover of the cycle that is happening underneath it all. Obviously, any Scorpio you know is gonna know more than you about what's happening where we can't see. So like, you know, Scorpios get together and that is wild, because y'all can really like psychic sense into the undercurrents. And that's what this is. It's like you're sensing like a very foundational shift, transition. I keep saying turnover because that's what it feels like. And it's changing the morality. It's changing the value system. It's changing the wisdom and the belief systems, and it's major. Okay, Scorpio, we have to get into this now with some other things. We've got James's tarot deck we're going to get into. We're going to get into his oracle deck as well, and just continue to play this out the rest of the way. So if you'd like to view the rest of this reading, click the link in the description box below, and that will take you to the shifting space where you can view this whole reading and all of the readings in their entirety for all 12 signs and investigate them together along with us in the shifting space community throughout the season. So if that sounds like something you're into, I hope to see you over there. All right, Scorpio, let's pull tarot.